Hi, Namaste, Sat Shri Akal, good afternoon. How are you doing this weekend? Today I am in the day fourth of my fat loss challenge, and I wanted to share with you my thoughts which will break a myth which everybody, including myself, had been believing for many years. And eventually, when the science, the facts came out in front of me after research, I found out that I was a fool, and now I have tried to change my life on the basis of these facts. I would, through this video, put a case that weight loss and obesity is not simply a game of calories in and calories out. I would also put a case that saying that just decrease your carbs and increase your proteins and just moderate amount of good fats and exercise is gonna lead to good amount of fat loss and health. It's wrong. It's a myth. That's not the only factor in the game. Rather, it's one of the factors in the game. Secondly, and thirdly, I would like to put a case that in today's modern world, the answer to obesity is not simply food and lifestyle. The answer to obesity is much more multifactorial, which encompasses many things which cannot be solved on the basis of simply just dieting on basis of diets and just working out or running. Hi, my name is Dr. Mandeep Singh. I am a 23 years expert in casualty and emergency medicine. Have been working in this field strenuously in India. I have seen a lot of lifestyle diseases and myself undergone and supervised others for their fat loss journeys. I would, for the very beginning of this video, like to state that anybody who believes that weight loss is and fat loss and health is just the game of consuming less calories, running, gymming, and does not want to actually learn about the facts and truths and wants to remain in this myth may kindly please shut down this video and move on to all what you have been doing this weekend. Number two, if you expect that I can put all of this in a reel of 60 seconds, that's not going to happen. I cannot cheat upon people who intend to listen to me. Those people may be only one, or it may be thousands, or maybe even lakhs. I would not like to cheat upon them. So firstly, I would just like to say that obesity is something which has been recently and for some time in the recent past has been associated with a lot of stigma. The war on obesity very, very fastly becomes the war on the obese, meaning thereby as soon as you see an obese person, you start judging him, you start calling him a lazy person, you start calling him a person who's very casual about his health, and a person who cannot control his mouth because he can put anything in his mouth, he lacks discipline. I would like to say that if you are one of those persons who are waging a war on the obese, again, you may stop this video and move on, because a war on obesity is not a war on the obese. The obese is him or herself a victim of what all is going on right now. It's the same way as I never liked when people would call a person under alcohol addiction as an alcoholic, or a person suffering from smoking addiction as a smoker. So many people struggle with many health issues and they live with it, and to be blaming or stigmatizing them with that disease, with that condition, is very unfair. Rather, it borders on low morality of the person who's stigmatizing him. Obesity is not only about just eating a lot of food uncontrollably. Obesity can be due to many factors like disordered eating, which we all know. It can be due to decreased physical activity. It may be due to some medicines which that person is compulsorily taking, like steroids or antidepressants. It may be due to lack of sleep. It may be due to psychological issues. It may be due to some diseases like Cushing's or hypothyroidism. It may be due to also that a person is suffering from some physical disability because of which he cannot move about much. So it's a very large spectrum of things which can cause obesity. So stigmatizing or victimizing a person or body shaming a person of obesity is is very, very bad. I don't have a very complex word for it. It's actually very bad and reflects ignorance on the part of the person who's doing it. So let's start our video with this thought. That is the first thing to keep in mind. The second thing which I would like to say, that we have been always saying that food is the main reason. A very popular saying is that abs are made in the kitchen, they are not made in the gym. So it's true, food is the basic reason. Food is one of the crucial reasons which leads to this problem. So I would like to bring to the notice that food has changed over years and decades. Food has changed the way we eat it, the kind of food we have been eating, to recent times when what we are eating is not even food. It's not food. So I am very obviously talking about ultra processed foods out here. Ultra processed foods are those foods which we take directly from a supermarket, something like our cream, sugary biscuits, something like off the shelf, fast going snacks, chips, uh, things like that, which we are taking from the supermarket. So these are ultra processed foods, right? I don't want to name a particular product because this video is not aimed at against a particular industrial corporation. It is just aimed against a particular kind of dietary pattern. So processing and ultra processing are two different things. We have been processing food for thousands of years. Even converting milk to curd is processing. Even beating grains to form powder is processing. And we process food because we need, our gut is made that way, that a little amount of processing of the food is required. So what do we call in our local language processing? It's like cooking. So cooking was invented or made just because we needed to process food which was growing all around us, or which we hunted and which we ate. So we are not talking about that. We are talking about ultra processed food. So why ultra processed food is a problem for us? Now, I'll give you a very simple example of it and how you will realize that ultra processed food is causing obesity. I think many of you must have started on a fat loss journey, and you must have been on a diet, but the biggest problem you faced during your diet was that you were not able to resist, or not able to stay away from one of your or many of your favorite snacks. Maybe that was a pizza, maybe it was a some MNCs companies burger, or was it some kind of a chocolate bar. I have been through such kind of things, and I have gone through this, so I know that that was the most difficult part. So we should realize that what processing is for and who does this processing. So this ultra processing is done by the manufacturers of such products to make them more, let's say, more appealing to us. Now, how can a food be made appealing to us? Is there are many things which are done to the food. So food is not only about carbohydrates, proteins and fats and minerals and everything. Now the game has become even more evolved. It is more than that. It's what we do to our food, what we are doing to our food. So when these companies or these manufacturers, they make such uh, ultra processed foods, they add certain additives or chemicals to these foods which prolong its shelf life. The foods are, they don't decay, they don't they remain fresh, so to say, for a very long period of time. So why would a food decay? It would decay when it would have water. So basically all ultra processed food is devoid of water, because water would seed bacteria and bacteria would cause the food to decay. So they replace it with other things, with other chemicals which are not even food. You are putting those chemicals inside of you which are not even food. And these chemicals affect your body and your physiology in such a manner that you start craving more for it. I'll give you a very simple science based fact that when we were small, we were kids, our parents used to say that chew your food at least 20 to 25 times before swallowing it. So the logic behind that is chewing of solid food is one of the basic mechanism by which satiety, या जिसको हम हिंदी में कहते हैं पेट भर जाना, जिसको हम कहते हैं कि मेरा दिल भर गया खाने से. So satiety is triggered by when you eat solid food and you chew it many times. But these companies, they change the nature of the food by ultra processing it, by making it soft, by making it mushy, and the food, as soon as it goes out in your mouth, it becomes soft and it disappears. So they circumvent the satiety mechanism. वो आपका पेट भरने ही नहीं देते, वो आपका दिल भरने ही नहीं देते. So you crave for more, you eat more. You have eaten one biscuit or two biscuit or three biscuit, but you want more, you want to finish the packet, right? So this is like gaining, this is causing you to consume calories which are not even required. By the time your body registers that kind of glucose spike, the body is already full, and then you have eaten more than what was required by your body. So later you must have felt that as soon as you have had such kind of foods and everything, later you feel bloating and you feel all kinds of gut issues, because now the body is kind of the hormones are gearing up, and the body is realized that you have taken much more amount of calories than what was required. Although the science is much complex than that, but this is a way I wanted to explain to people who are not medical professionals, right? So this is one aspect. I'll give you a very simple example of it. I used to make burgers. I still make burgers at home, but now I bake my own bread. I used to get the burger buns from the market, and sometimes I used to get six of them, but I used to consume two or three only out of those burgers. And the buns would stay there on the table, and not a very hot or very cold temperature, but still it was not freezing out on the table for 10 to 15 days. I would realize that the fungus would set in somewhere like 10 days after the burger had been there. How can something which is food survive like this out in the open without getting fungus or decay on it for 10 days straight? So it's because it's not food, right? It's not food. That is why it's not decaying. So we are basically eating fake food. So I was listening to an expert. He said that what we are eating right now is not food, it is industrialized edible substance. So it's not even food. So what happens is, when we take such food in our body, it is non-nutritive. It's only calorie dense, and it goes inside. It causes obesity, but in terms of value of nutrition, of nutrients, it gives us nothing. And that is why we crave for more. We sometimes get up at night and start eating more of it. So Uh, I would like to again put another thing that you eat an apple, you will get full and you would not like to eat something else for some time. But you drink a glass of apple juice, which is made out of two or three apples. You can drink that glass 3 or 4 times over, right? It's because, again, it's calorie dense, it has been ultra processed, and the act of chewing of solid food, which triggers your satiety, is not being triggered. And that is why apple juice is sold like hot pancakes. It goes, the bottles are consumed within minutes. So they end up earning money and you end up paying with your health. I would like to say just one thing now, that if ultra processed food, which is available in the supermarket, if it is so special and it is let's say, very, very exquisite, then why is it cheaper than actual real food? Ask this question to yourself. Why your groceries, your vegetables, your fruits, your chicken, your fish, that bunch of groceries is costing more than your ultra processed food packets? Why? Just think about it. If that ultra processed food is such a special thing, why is it cheap? Why is it so easily available? Why do you want more of it? Because it's cheap. You don't have to cook it. It's calorie dense. You crave for it again and again. So it's a pseudo addiction of ultra processed foods with which we are suffering right now, and sadly, our children are suffering from. So, those people who believe that calorie less intake and carb low and high protein and moderate fats and running is going to solve their problem of obesity, no, it's not going to solve. You have done it in the hearts of the hearts, you know it, that you have been addicted to it, to all these ultra processed foods. You know that something is wrong, that you are trying so hard. You're following all the diets, you're following every diet advice given to you by people. Low carb, you are on one roti a day. You are consuming chicken and soya like hell. You are running your guts out. You are gymming like hell. But still, that obesity doesn't go. Why? It's because we are in majority addicted to ultra processed foods. We think they are healthy, they are not. We have to get out of it. That is something we have to break free from if we actually want to lose weight. And that is the current fat loss journey which I'm doing is all about. I am not too much into that kind of things which are going on, like low carb, high protein, and mid fats and everything. I have just tried to decrease. I cannot shut it out, but the structure of the food market is such. But I have tried to decrease my ultra processed food intake to a very low limit. And I want to see what it does to my body. In the hearts of my hearts, I'm pretty confident what's going to do, because it is the day fourth and I feel far better than before. There were one or two products which I have been using, ultra processed products. I don't want to take their name. I don't want to sully some company's name right here. But I am doing this challenge just to prove that ultra processed foods, if removed from your life, are going to change your life. It's not only about fat loss, it's about gut health, it's about psychological health, it's about a whole holistic well being. You have to remove that addictive substance from your body, from your diet, from your life. You have to do that. Lastly, I would just say one thing. I'm a very staunch believer in the holy Bhagavad Gita. In that, Lord Krishna says that man, if has to ascend, has to move beyond his five senses. If a man judges his reality or her reality only by the five senses, then that man is at a loss. We have to move above our five senses and we have to think with our mind, with intellect, and with our soul. We have to think what we are putting on the plate. We have to move above our senses of taste and smell and sight. Only then will we be able to win this war on obesity. Thank you very much.